MLS has been known as the league where big-name superstars come to collect their last paychecks, increase jersey sales, and get butts in the seats at the stadium. But I believe this narrative has now changed. We've seen a big rise of superstars depart MLS for big chunks of cash. And I believe that we will see the biggest sale in the league's history come the end of this season from a certain Argentinian World Cup winning midfielder on Atlanta United. But y'all are probably thinking, Shine, you're just some crazy brown guy making videos on the internet. And to that, I say the proof is in the pudding.
What do you mean by that?
So let's go through the top 10 biggest outgoing transfers in MLS history and find out how MLS has changed the narrative. So to get started, let's quickly brisk through a few players that just missed out on the top 10 list to show them a little bit of love as well. First up is Ismail Kone, who went from CF Montreal to Watford for around $8 million. Then there's Tajon Buchanan, who went from the New England Revolution to Club Bruges for $7 million plus a 10% sell-on. Then there's Georgi Mihailovic, who went from CF Montreal to AZ Alkmaar for around $6 million. And then finally, there's Zach Steffen, who went from the Columbus Crew to Manchester City for $7.5 million. So now that we got the honorable mentions out of the way, let's get on to the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is Diego Rossi, going from LAFC to Fenerbahce for around $10 million. Diego Rossi will forever be an LAFC legend for scoring the first goal in club history against the Seattle Sounders back in 2018. He had 48 goals and 21 assists in 104 MLS appearances, including winning the 2022 MLS Golden Boot. He moved to Europe on deadline day in the summer transfer window of 2021 to join Turkish giants Fenerbahce on loan. That deal was made permanent in the summer of 2022, and the deal was worth around $10 million for the Uruguayan international. At number 9 is Jozy Altidore, moving from the New York Red Bulls to Villarreal for $10 million. From the top 10, this was the first big-time MLS transfer abroad, and the only one in the top 10 that happened further back than 4 years ago. Altidore was selected 17th overall by the New York Red Bulls in the 2006 MLS Super Draft at the age of 16. In 2007, he made 22 appearances, including 15 starts for the Red Bulls, registering 9 goals and 4 assists in his first full professional season, and played a pivotal role in both matches for the Red Bulls in the 2007 MLS Cup playoffs. Villarreal came in and paid a whopping $10 million for Altidore in the summer of 2008. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for him in Spain, making just 22 appearances for Villarreal. But he featured 70 times in the Premier League and scored 51 goals for Eredivisie side AZ Alkmaar before returning back to North America in 2015 with Toronto FC. Coming in at number 8, it is Brenner, moving from FC Cincinnati to Udinese for $10 million plus add-ons. This is the most recent transfer that's broken into the top 10, as this transfer just happened a few weeks ago. Brenner joined FC Cincinnati as a young designated player in the spring of 2021 from Brazilian club Sao Paulo. Brenner enjoyed a breakout 2022 season under FC Cincinnati's new regime with 18 goals and 6 assists in 29 appearances. He helped lead the club to their first ever MLS Cup playoff berth, as well as their first ever postseason win, and he will join the Italian team at the end of this season. Coming in at number 7 is Gaga Slonina from the Chicago Fire to Chelsea for up to $15 million. Chicago Fire homegrown Gaga Slonina won the starting goalkeeper job at 17 years old in 2021 and never looked back. Slonina started 43 MLS matches long before his 19th birthday. Over the 2022 season, he was being courted by huge clubs in Europe as well as the Polish FA about committing to their country internationally. He opted to stick with the US men's national team, and soon after, a deal with Chelsea was agreed upon, making him the most expensive goalkeeper in MLS history. Coming in at number 6 is Brendan Aronson from the Philadelphia Union to RB Salzburg for $14 million. In 2022, Brendan Aronson broke into the Philadelphia Union first team, helped them secure the Supporter Shield, and was named MLS Best 11. He joined RB Salzburg in the winter of 2020 for $6.5 million upfront plus incentives, where he immediately hit his stride and was a crucial starter for the club, triggering all of his incentives to take the fee up to $9 million. Then this last summer joined Leeds United in a transfer worth $30 million. A portion of that, $5 million, went to the Philadelphia Union as part of their sell-on clause, taking the total package of Aronson's original transfer out of MLS to $14 million. Then at the 5th spot, it is Pity Martinez from Atlanta United to Al Nassr for $18 million. Pity JD Martinez arrived at Atlanta United in January of 2019 at arguably the prime of his career, as the reigning South American Player of the Year for River Plate, which is an award the likes of Pele, Carlos Tevez, and Neymar have won. The biggest problem was he didn't quite live up to those expectations. With only 7 goals and 11 assists in 39 appearances, he didn't reach the expectations that Atlanta United and MLS fans were hoping for. But wasn't necessarily a failed signing, given Atlanta United was able to recoup all of their initial league record investment plus a little profit on top of that in the summer of 2020, selling him to Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr for $18 million. And now he's playing with this guy. Coming in at number 4, it is Ricardo Pepi from FC Dallas to Augsburg for $20 million. Ricardo Pepi is a homegrown FC Dallas player, first joining the team's youth academy before signing with FC Dallas affiliate North Texas SC in 2018. FC Dallas signed Pepi as its 26th homegrown in 2019, and during that season was able to make his MLS debut. He had 13 goals and 2 assists in 31 league games for FC Dallas in 2021, being named in the MLS All-Star team, scoring the winning penalty in the shootout, and was named the league's best young player of the year. Pepi was valued by a ton of clubs in Europe, though FC Dallas hoped to keep him another year ahead of the 2022 World Cup. But offers became bigger as the transfer window approached, and in the winter of 2022, he signed for Bundesliga side Augsburg for $20 million. At number 3, we have John Duran from the Chicago Fire to Aston Villa for up to $22 million. The Chicago Fire initially acquired John Duran from Colombian club Envigo FC for up to $2.5 million in 2021. Duran, who just turned 19 in December, tallied 8 goals and 3 assists in 27 appearances in his lone season in MLS for the Chicago Fire. The forward already had 3 appearances for the senior Colombian national team, thus having growing interest from Premier League clubs. Aston Villa decided to swoop in and sign him in the winter of 2023 for $22 million, $18 million of it being upfront and $4 million of it being add-ons. So far, he's made short cameos off the bench and has looked quite decent so far in his Premier League debut season. Oh yeah, and by the way, since we're talking about MLS is changing the narrative, it's a growing league and it's becoming one of the top leagues in the world, why don't you go check out this video after you check out this one, where I talk about how the Club World Cup will change MLS forever. At number 2, we have Alphonso Davies from the Vancouver Whitecaps to Bayern Munich for up to $22 million. Alphonso Davies is a product of the Vancouver Whitecaps development system, joining the residency program in 2015 at the age of 14, marking the beginning of his fast ascent through the club's ranks from the U16s to U18 side, then to Vancouver Whitecaps 2, and in 2018 being an MLS All-Star selection within a span of 3 years. He hit 12 goals and 14 assists in 81 appearances for the Vancouver Whitecaps and is the club's youngest ever goal scorer. In the winter of 2019, Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich signed Alphonso Davies for $22 million, 13 of it being upfront plus the rest being incentives. He has become one of the best left backs in the world and has become a benchmark for all young rising stars in MLS, that there is a clear pathway from the USA to Europe. And coming in at number 1 is Miguel Almiron from Atlanta United to Newcastle United for $26 million. Miguel Almiron joined Atlanta United on a multi-year contract in 2016, becoming the second designated player in the club's history. He recorded 9 goals and 14 assists in his first ever season in MLS and was named the MLS Newcomer of the Year. Almiron was named in the 2017 MLS All-Star team and was the #1 player on the MLS 24 under 24 list. But that was just the beginning for him. In 2018, he recorded 12 goals and 14 assists, being the key to Atlanta United winning the 2018 MLS Cup. Still holder of the league record transfer title, Miguel Almiron joined English Premier League side Newcastle United for $26 million. This year, Almiron is having his best ever season with Newcastle as the club pushed for a top 4 finish to play in next season's UEFA Champions League. Now that we've gone through the list, what is your guys' biggest takeaway that you noticed with it? Well, for me, we've seen that most of these transfers happen within the past 3 years and the fees keep on rising. So this is how I see it. MLS clubs are beginning to take risks by investing in young talent in the academy system, or looking in South America or in Europe to then sell to bigger clubs around the world. We do gotta show some love to Atlanta United because they have been the club to take risks and push that envelope to bring in more young South American talent and develop them into big stars. MLS clubs are not just looking for short-term success, bringing in the big name superstars that are completely past it, but scouting and developing young prospects to make them into one of the biggest names in the world of football. But boys and girls, my opinion only matters so much. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What are your guys' thoughts on the top 10 list? Who will be the next player to break into the top 10 outgoing transfers in MLS history? Let me know your guys' thoughts down below, and don't Don't forget to smash the like button on today's video, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I hope you all have a lovely day.